The hardest part of doing anything is actually getting started. But what you probably don't know is that right after that, the real battle is that cycle repeating itself over and over again, of you having to get started again and again and again. And I'm going to share with you some lessons that I've learned from the first few weeks of me having technically launched my online advertising business, and I hope that it can help you out. But basically, it takes a lot of balls, takes a lot of courage and spirit to get started and to start launching things on there, getting stuff out, and beginning to do things like start sending cold pitches to people. But what happens is that once you get started with the main thing, you start to realize then that you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't know you actually had to work on, and you have to then gather up more courage to tackle that. So imagine it's like, you're on a battlefield or something, and you've had the first wave of the enemy come through, and you've absolutely decimated them. You wrecked them, and it's like, hell yeah. You're kind of tired now. And then what happens is there's another wave of them, and they all come riding in on horseback, and you're just like, oh, I did not expect this. And that's what I've found, because I've spent years at this point now working on my belief system through all the kind of self-improvement habits and whatnot. And I've got to this point now where I've actually had to jump in and do something really genuinely hard. I mean, I've done a few things that are considered hard before, obviously. That's kind of what, the whole self-improvement meme is about. But going ahead and actually looking to start a business, especially at a young age, it's a lot harder than you think. And I've gone in and I've thought I'd worked on everything. I got my belief systems in check, and I understand, oh yeah, I'm looking for this and I want freedom from this business. I'm not a big materialist or anything like that. And, I'm willing to put in loads of hard work, and, it's fine. But what happens is when you come across and you start realizing these things, like sending massive volumes of cold pitches to DMs and emails, and it just doesn't really, it's not as effective as perhaps going ahead and actually spending time working like a con man, the prospect before turning them into a client. And because that's going to help you work with higher quality leads, and that's going to give you a bigger pay, it's going to give you a bigger launch, more leverage into the space than just going ahead and launching a bunch of cold pitches to people, because it's not as good, especially because you're not coming across as very unique. Even if you've got the best cold script in the world, you are still cold pitching in the conventional way. So you actually have to spend time like taking another strategy and spending time working the client first before you actually try and sell them. And even when it gets to that first point of getting them onto a call and, closing them as a client, it can even usually involve not actually getting paid for a bit after that, depending on what kind of approach that you're taking. But all of that, it takes time. And I thought, okay, I'm fine, I can work really hard, and I can be patient, and I can get this business off the ground, and it's going to be fine. But I've started to find myself, despite all of this stoicism and all of these philosophical texts and everything I've been reading, all of this work on my internal beliefs through things like journaling and reflection and whatnot, all of that stuff, I've still found myself getting impatient recently. And it's not productive at all. It's completely counterintuitive impatience when you're actually trying to build a business, because impatience is going to make you take stupid moves rather than actually making good decisions that will take longer to pay off but actually come to a better outcome in the end. So it's the whole delayed gratification thing all over again. But it's because once you realize that there's all this stuff that you've got to do, like you've got to build a foundation online, you've got to start working with the personal brand, which is what this is. This is the very beginning of that. On top of, obviously, my previous videos, I guess they were kind of less relevant, and starting back up on Instagram again. So I don't give a shit about how many views this video is going to get or whatnot. Like, it doesn't matter, because this is just assets for me, these videos, if to pay off in the future. And, so long as I can help one person with this, it's good enough for me. And even if that person's myself, that's fine. But it's about actually taking the moves that are going to build a lasting foundation and not just rushing to get things done. So it involves having the patience to wait, to work with prospects first, and then also you're taking a risk there with that time and energy invested, because they might still say no at the end, but it's fine because it's better, because what you did was maximize your chances, like big time, of actually closing that person in the first place. But it's very much, when you get impatient, it's usually coming from a sense of imposter syndrome, really. You go ahead and you go in and you think, okay, I'm going to do this. I've got confidence in myself and my pitch and whatnot. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close a bunch of people. And then you realize that you've not really got any leverage, and you feel like you don't have the authority to reach out to people who have got considerably bigger followings than you. And they've actually got, like clout in whatever space that they're in. And you feel like you shouldn't be reaching out to these people, despite the fact that, odds are you're probably better at their marketing than they are, most likely. That's why you're looking at them as a prospect in the first place. But you feel that imposter syndrome, and then you start to get impatient, because then you think, I don't have the leverage, I don't have the authority, and it's frustrating, and it makes you get impatient. But despite the thing is about being impatient is that it's just going to make you choose dumb decisions, and you're not actually going to get anywhere, because you're going to spend a bunch of time wallowing in despair at the fact that you are not yet a millionaire living somewhere really nice and tropical. You're not sitting in a condo in Thailand or a big villa in Miami or something like that, and you think, oh, I have no credibility, when in reality you do, because you've already got a bunch of knowledge of whatever service that you are providing. If you don't, then you should probably go back and spend some more time learning that. But it is the fact that you still do have some good knowledge, and the only thing is you've just not got anything to show for it yet, besides offering to write things like samples. But it's fine, because that imposter syndrome, it's difficult to work past, and it's something that you weren't expecting. It's like I'm saying, it's a bunch of people on horseback. You didn't expect to see them coming. So what you've got to do is just fill what you've got. You've got to use the confidence with what you have. You have to have the confidence in your pitch. Understand that you are good enough to go ahead and pitch to these people and close them. And any confidence that you don't have yet, so for example, you've not got leverage from having worked with people before, you've got to just fill the rest of that with delusion. Honestly, it sounds so stupid, but you've got to have conviction and so much self-belief that something is going to work, and eventually it will, because you can't fail if you've got that self-belief. Like, seriously, you cannot fail at anything if you are so confident in yourself and you have that self-belief that you can actually succeed with it. So it's building that void of confidence up, and then it's tackling the imposter syndrome, and it is going ahead and doing the thing that might even be harder than actually getting started, which is the next round of getting started with a new thing. And it's understanding that there is really no quick way to success, and getting impatient is just stupid, because it's going to slow you down, because you're going to spend all this time complaining about how you're not where you want to be and everything sucks. And the problem is, you're just not going to get there if you're spending all this time slowing yourself down. You've got to go in there with noble intentions, simple intentions. Okay, I'm going to do this because I want to get freedom. I don't want to buy up a bunch of materialistic BS. That is not the point here. I want to be free, and that freedom comes when I spend a lot of time building a lasting foundation to build wealth that actually lasts. And this is just the first stepping stone of that. And when you can understand that, everything is fine. Like, everything is going to be okay. And it is having that self-belief as well to get over the imposter syndrome, which is what I've been suffering with. Because the thing is, all these great people throughout history, they all had incredible self-belief. Like, Alexander the Great believed that he was like a descendant of the gods. Like, his mum had told him, since he was a young child, like, oh yeah, you're just like a divine hero, you are. And then Alexander, when he was going ahead and leading his conquests, and he believed that he was like a descendant of the gods. He had that much self-confidence in himself that he could do things. And what did he do? He sucked it up, he scooped the balls, and he ran in there, and he did everything that he wanted to do. And that is the kind of mentality that you've got to have with things. And this is very business focused, but even if it's something else, like it's any venture, I suppose you can probably apply this to. But I hope this lesson helped. If there's anything you want to talk to me about with what we've mentioned today, you can go down below, check out my Instagram, just message me on there. I am more than happy to have a conversation with you if you're cool, which you probably are if you're watching this video. And yeah, we're just going to keep doing this more often, because this is, as I say, this is building the lasting foundation. I'm putting content out there so people can actually, see, oh yeah, this is a credible guy. And also in a few years I can go back to these, I can use these to build further credibility as well. So it's an asset for me, and it's helping you as well, because I hope that the, whatever lessons and knowledge I have to share with you is going to improve your life as well. So win-win for both of us. Share this about, do all the good stuff,